Hello, 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 and welcome everyone to our fourth and final installment of our virtual job shadow series. Tonight, we'll be highlighting the world of business, finance, and marketing with Carlton Dixon, founder and CEO of Reveal Suits. My name is Joy Royston, and I'm the program director for Trey Athletes, and I thank all of you for being here tonight. Following the conversation I'll be having with Mr. Dixon, we will have a live Q&A session. So we do encourage all of our audience members to submit questions at any time throughout the conversation using the Q&A function. If you submit a question, you will have the opportunity to appear on video and ask your question live if you want. For all of our season 3 participants, don't forget that your team can win a pizza party by engaging with us on social media and tagging us at Trey Athletes. We'll drop this in our chat right now for you to see. We'll be announcing the winner of our next pizza party next week. So make sure you check us out on Instagram for additional rules on how you could win. This virtual job shadow series is presented by Trey Athletes. We are a Dallas-based youth sports nonprofit, and our mission is to empower athletes to be leaders, role models, and influential voices in their communities. We believe that by providing high school athletes with the opportunity to learn from amazing speakers such as Carlton Dixon, they will be provided with the necessary insights that can help ensure their success on and off the court. And with that, we're going to go ahead and begin. I'd like to start by giving a quick introduction to who Mr. Carlton Dixon is, and thank you, Carlton, for being here with us tonight.
My pleasure.
So Carlton Dixon is the founder and CEO of Reveal Suits. Being raised by a single mother in the Dallas inner city area, Carlton learned early on the value of hard work and perseverance. A former student athlete, having played basketball for the University of Texas at Austin himself, Carlton has made it his life works to inspire young men and women to achieve their goals, first as a coach, then as an athletic director, and now as the owner and CEO of Reveal Suits. Tonight, we're going to hear more about Carlton's story as he shares with us his journey from a student athlete to now as a businessman and the founder and CEO of Reveal Suits. Welcome, Carlton.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of
Looking
course,
forward
we're
to
glad
it.
that you could join us. So I want to start off with just asking a basic question for you just to tell us about yourself, tell us where you're from, how you grew up, and also ask the question of what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, love that question. Well, yeah. I was born in Chicago, but I was only there for 6 years. So I proudly claim that I am a Texan, relocated to Texas at the age of 6 in the South Dallas area. Again, just kind of that inner city upbringing, single parent home. Watch mother do her thing. Whether it was one job, two jobs, three jobs, whatever it is, or whatever it was, definitely making sure that we had what we needed. And so, just humble beginnings. Graduate of Lincoln High School, ultimately in South Dallas. Go Tigers! I grew up again, single parent home, and then had a younger sister who was 5 years younger than me. So it was us three growing up in the house. She eventually became a great basketball player herself. So certainly a basketball family. She's an amazing basketball coach right now in the Houston area. But after graduating high school, as you mentioned, was fortunate and blessed to get a full scholarship to the University of Texas, and had some fun there. Enjoyed Austin, enjoyed my time, enjoyed everything that being a part of a collegiate team brings, on the court, off the court, value of teamwork, cooperating with others, just those little principles that you can get from being a student athlete right there. As far as what I wanted to be when I grew up, I think everyone wanted to be that pro football player, that pro basketball player. So I was right along there with them. And then, you go through college, life happens, things happen, and your initial path may not become your ultimate path. And so definitely had the dreams of running up and down in the NBA, but the plans were diverted elsewhere, and hey, I have no regrets. So glad to be where I'm at right now, for sure.
Thank you for sharing that. So you wanted to be a pro athlete.
Oh
So
yeah.
I guess that makes sense. You coming from, like you said, a basketball family. You haven't played basketball. Your sister haven't played basketball.
Hmm.
With you graduating from school, though, you did end up going into basketball as a coach.
Hmm.
So tell us about that, how the early days of your career, like as a basketball coach, and then ultimately you were athletic director as well.
Yeah, so it almost didn't happen. I'll I'll admit that. I fought it for a long time. My sister, she got into coaching years before I did, and again, being younger, so she went right into it, and I was her biggest fan at every game. Coaching from the stands and the sidelines, but she actually was the one who told me. She was just like, "Hey, big brother, go get your certification. This is something that you would love to do." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." Probably fought it for another couple of years, but then I ended up going for it. And uh, as soon as I got certified to teach and be able to coach in 2011, I got an immediate head coaching opportunity in the Dallas ISD. And so, I kind of took that as some confirmation, like, okay, maybe this is what I was supposed to, where I was supposed to end up. And midway through that first year, the athletic director at that campus, he left and took another job back in his hometown. And so the principal looked at me, this new coach. I guess maybe she had known of, I don't know, some things I'd done in the past. Um, I'd been real active in youth sports and, just kind of on my own and with the city of Dallas doing some things independently. But she thought enough of me to tap me as the interim athletic director during that very first year. And then the second year, she gave me the position full time. And so I went from not being certified at all to receiving a head coaching opportunity right out of the gate. And then one semester in, I was the acting athletic director and assumed the job full time that next year. So within a matter of a couple of years, that just kind of showed me, maybe that decision was just, it was there waiting on me to make it. And once I did, just another blessing right there. So I really enjoyed being an athletic director, just having an impact on the growth and development of young men and young women from all sports. Yes, I'm a basketball guy, but I was just as passionate about making sure that my tennis team had what they needed, and my softball teams had what they needed. My cross country guys had what they needed, and so I really enjoyed my opportunity there. Shout out to my North Dallas High School Bulldogs.
Nice. So, hearing about how you were able to get your licensing and get certified and then get a head coaching position so quickly, I know that's not an easy process. Having talked to other coaches about how it's often really competitive and hard, but you were able to go in right off the bat and have great success there. I'm curious about when you say like it took some persuading from your younger sister for you to go down that path. Why was there that resistance for you to go into coaching?
Um, I think I was even then, I was years. Reveal suits wasn't even a thought in the brain at that time. But I think I had some aspirations of going into the business world in some kind of way. Maybe it was, being a college athletic director or something, but it was definitely not on the court. My vision was not doing anything on the court. Um, but just again, maybe it was just sitting right there waiting, waiting for it to waiting for me to make that decision. And you ask my sister, she'll say, God, this guy fought it for 3, 4, 5 years. And I dabbled around in some school district front office positions. And so, I thought maybe I'd become the athletic director of the school district. I just had all kind of thoughts, but the way that coaching opportunity came about, and that certification came about, it just felt like it was meant to be, and that's where I was supposed to be right then, and I embraced it 100%.
So this desire that you had then to go into business, where did that come from? Because knowing back, like, was it something that you had experience in college, an internship, or something? Where did this desire to study business or to practice business come from?
Yeah, I think so. I've always had a knack for um, a knack for finding or seeing an opportunity and leveraging that, what the resources that are available to me in that regard. So even going back to when I was 7, 8 years old, so I had a recycling business back then. So my granddad and I, we would scour the neighborhood and collect cans. That was one aspect of it. So I had different divisions even back then. So I had a can recycling division, I had a pecan recycling division, and then we had a newspaper recycling division. And so we would, scour the neighborhood for each of these, these sections. I collect my cans, collect my pecans, collect the old newspapers. We take them to the respective recycling places, weigh them, see what the value per can was or per pound was, and I get paid. And I did that for probably 2, 3 years. Uh, and as a 7, 8 year old, I had about $10 every week, so that was big balling back then, and then it just kind of transpired after college. I was a basketball camp organizer for 8, 9, 10 years. I had my own summer basketball camp program. We serviced about 300 kids in the area each summer, spanning about 3 or 4 different basketball camps. And that was great to watch that one grow. And so I've always had a knack to just do something outside of the 9 to 5. Um, I was a DJ for 12, 13 years. So, I had my music company business. I mean, so I've dabbled around in a lot of things. And, when this opportunity, when Reveal was, just kind of, and we'll talk about the formation of it here, coming up, but that was just kind of right in line with different things that have happened in my life. And this one here just has turned out to be the most prominent, but I've always just had a knack to, just go get it. I saw somebody bring up the nostalgia. They brought up a comment in the chat saying that it was nostalgic about crushing cans, and yeah, absolutely. So shout out to everyone else who's ever crushed some cans and taken them to get you a couple dollars.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. Like, it sounds like since you were like you said, 7, 8 years old, you've always had this entrepreneurial spirit of
Mhm.
being able to create something on your own, and really, like you said, being able to find an opportunity and find a solution for that.
Mhm.
So let's talk about then how you transition from an athletic director to now being, having this company and Reveal Suits.
Reveal Suits. So I'm a longtime sports guy, clearly, athletic director, coach, all of that good stuff. I watch tennis matches, I watch baseball games. I'm just a sports guy, right? And so one other thing that I watch every year religiously is NFL, NBA draft night. I'm that guy that likes to see, okay, this team chose this player. Why did they choose this guy? How can this guy help this team going forward? I'm just a sports nut, right? And watching the draft over the years, just started noticing guys get a bit more creative with their suits. Mostly from the outside to start out, but then guys started doing some creative things on the inside, representing their their native country. Some guys were putting pictures of their family inside of the lining, just doing whatever. And then I started noticing some guys sewing some things inside of their jackets that were patches of their school. And they wanted to represent their schools on their big night when they got up on the stage. And so they would get up on the stage and they would open their jacket. And of course, I'm representing my horns tonight, but they would open their jacket and you'd see some representation. And I was just like, it was kind of interesting. And they would talk about, just they wanted to pay respect to their school. They loved their school. Um, and they said, they were like, well, we knew we couldn't get up here in our t-shirts and our sweatshirts. And so we had to get creative. And that just resonated with me. And I was just like, I wonder if this could be a viable product in the market. Now, mind you, I was I still am whenever I can, but I am a sweats and flip-flops guy to my core, right? And so I was not a fashion guy. I was not a fashion major. I have a speech communications degree. I have never taken one fabrics class or anything like that. But again, noticing an opportunity to carve a special lane in the market. So it was a crash course. It began a crash course in fashion learning. For 2 years, I doubled as an AD and, AD by day and then forming this company by evening and night, and pretty much working, 18 to 20 hours, because part of that is also finding a supply chain. Most apparel companies, even once they've been established, you're finding your suppliers, your most cost-effective suppliers in Asia and overseas. And so there's a big time gap. There's a 13-hour time difference. And so it was I was easily up until 1, 2 in the morning at times, just trying to piece everything together, whether it be learning about the licensing components, because this is a trademark that needs to be licensed and approved. So whether it's that, whether it's getting my supply chain together, learning about manufacturing, doing all I could, all of the research necessary to narrow down, okay, hey, who is going to be responsible for making this product? There were a lot of boxes that they had to check. It took 8 months to find one manufacturer, just because I wasn't, once I had an idea of what I wanted my brand to look like and what I wanted this garment to feel like, there were a lot of boxes that they had to check. And so that was a process. And the deciding factor to go ahead and step out on my own, the last year that I was coaching, I missed 32 days of school. And that was because I had to be at Florida State talking to that AD. I had to be at, LSU talking to Les Miles at the time. I had to be at, so I had to be at these places because this brand is on the line. And, we were getting some good feedback. We were getting some great interest. And after a while, after we had some good early sales, some good early momentum, that's where that competitive spirit kicked in, those juices kicked in, and it was time to step out and just bet on myself. And here we are.
Wow. Okay. So thank you for sharing that. And it sounds like, not even it sounds like, it was a lot of hard work for you because, like you said, you were an AD and you were also trying to start this business from the ground up. And it was a steep learning curve because you hadn't done this before. So I'm curious to know, what was it about business that kind of kept you going? Why did you want to continue like doing all this hard work and even being able to walk away from being this AD, which I'm sure was really comfortable for you, and then going to like this unknown realm of starting your own business?
Competitive. And I noticed that the product wasn't out there. No one was doing it. And I want to be first. And this is an opportunity. I've never at that time. Yeah, I've never succeeded at this, but that was me just kind of like, okay, hey, and as silly as this sounds, hey, I made this pecan business work. I made this can recycling business work. I grew this basketball camp, program to where it became one of the largest ones in the city. I became an AD within a year. And so I was just like, hey, there's going to be some tough road ahead. And yes, this is totally different than some basketball camps and, recycling cans, but it was just that same mentality. I have to succeed at this, and I have to the definition of success is broad as well. Maybe the definition is getting 5 teams to buy your apparel. Maybe the definition is becoming a suit partner of the NFL. So the definition of success is broad, but I knew I wanted to bring this product to the market and be first, in doing so, in the fashion that we're doing it.
Okay. What's been the biggest lessons you've learned so far about business since starting Reveal Suits?
To be honest with yourself and to know your skill sets and when you need help. And so starting out, I just knew my wife and we were going to run this business, just the two of us, and become this national brand and this national conglomerate. And, there's just going to be the two of us doing it all. And that's just not realistic, nor is it a good recipe for success. Because I don't know the ins and outs of social media that are critical to build your business. I don't know the tax codes that keep you in compliance from a sales tax perspective. I don't know everything there is to know. I still don't know everything there is to know about the fashion trends that you see at New York Fashion Week and things of that nature. And so, there's just so many different facets of the business. I'm going to go in and meet with this AD and meet with this college president and let them know why Reveal Suits needs to be affiliated with your school. I'm going to get the business, right? But the marketing, the accounting, the social media, the photography, videography, editing, you got to bring in resources, and you have to bring in different people who are experts at what they do, PR. I love doing this, but I'm not the guy who goes and holds the phone and records himself while he's at an event and, hey, we're here a lot. I'm not that guy. And so, we had to hire an awesome spokesperson who does that for a living. And so you have to learn when to, for the betterment of your business, when to say, hey, this is not my lane, and bring in someone to help you, because collectively it's better than trying to figure out everything by yourself. So, and that took a while for me to learn, because I'm protective of this brand. I'm protective of this V that you see back here. And so whoever I'm letting in, we have to, the standard of excellence is always going to be there. And I've tried some people before, and that standard hasn't been there, and you gotta protect your brand. So learning when you need help is and acting on it is a very good lesson that most people will probably encounter.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a great sound out there. Being honest with yourself about your skill set and
Mm-hmm.
know when you need help. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's real. And I appreciate you for sharing that. I'm curious now then, because one thing you mentioned about something that keeps you going in business is that you're competitive. And I immediately thought, well, you're a former athlete. You used to play basketball back in the day. And so
Yeah.
I'm curious, are there any other skills from the fact that you are an athlete that have translated and helped you to be successful in business besides your competitive nature?
Yeah, competitive nature, that's not going to go anywhere. As with any team, once you form, so I had to form a team, whether the team is a team of 5 or it's a team of 30. You have to learn everyone's roles and responsibilities. From a basketball perspective, I was a small forward, and so I was receiving the ball from the point guards in a lot of instances, or I was even going to do some unselfish things, such as set the screen for the big guys, so where we can get a mismatch. And I'm talking basketball lingo right now, but those are examples of, yes, I want the ball in a certain spot, which is the active part of it. Or if I'm called on to go set this screen so we can get this bucket, that's me doing something that is benefiting someone else from a scoring standpoint, but I still play my role. say all of that to say nothing changes in business, whether you are the founder and the CEO, as I'm blessed to be, or whether you're the social media graphic designer. You're still part of a team. And that social media graphic designer, yeah, they're not the CEO or the VP or whatever, but in this business, their job is extremely important. And so it's the CEO and the VPs recognizing the importance of that social media graphic designer. And regardless of if they put in the same number of hours or whatever, their role is just as important. And so it's the same as the backup center, or the football, the second string left tackle. He's got to be ready to he's just as valuable getting that program together. And so it's the concept of teamwork. The concept of teamwork never ends. In my spare time, I play bass guitar for my church, so I'm part of our church band. But each of us have our lanes to where we have to fulfill to make the engine run. And so I would definitely say the concept of teamwork is something that you can take from any athletic experience and place in a business atmosphere. It's got to work together.
Thank you for sharing that. So what's a typical day for you like? Can you walk us through?
Yeah, absolutely love to. A typical day for me could start at 4:30 in the morning because I am waking up. Again, the time difference between us and my manufacturer, that is 5:30 p.m. for them. And so I need to see what happened that day. I need to see if certain orders are ready to go. I need to see if we have tracking numbers for orders that are ready to be shipped out. And so I'd say 3 out of my 5 days, it starts early. It starts super early. At some point, I try to get a brief workout in. It's only about an hour long these days. I don't get the 2-hour workouts that I used to get, back in the day. But try to get a workout maybe around 6:30, just kind of get the juices flowing. And then it's, either to the office or here at my home office. The day begins. Day typically begins with me checking the status updates on any new licenses that we have applied for. This week we applied for the Sam Houston State license due to their championship win in the FCS game on Sunday. Among others, I think we may have applied. Who did we apply for? Good Lord, that tells you how my week goes at times. But I think we applied for about 3 or 4 licenses. But I'll check the status of those just to see where we are. Depending on the time of the month, it may be time to pay royalties off of our sales. And so I'll typically just kind of make that a part of my morning routine, again, if it's that time. And then it's on to business development. And by that, I try to have a focus each week. One week it may be reaching out to every football program in the country, seeing what their plans are for next year, traveling on game day. Maybe they want to wear suits when they get off the bus and are walking into the stadiums. And so whatever my focus is, one week it could be contacting the life skills departments at these colleges. These are the ones who may purchase suits for their senior graduates who are getting ready for job interviews and internships. And so depending on my focus for the week, it may be corporations. We want to be the official suit provider or suit partner for, X law firm or, AT&T. And so whatever the focus is, around 10 a.m., between 10 a.m. and probably 2 p.m., my head is deep in contacting, cold calls, phone calls. I've typically identified who I want to reach out to. So it's either a phone call or email to that person. I'll take it conference by conference. I'll do Big 12 and then I'll do Conference USA, then I'll do the SEC. And that's just, that's how I work best. And then the late afternoon, if if I can breathe long enough to give me a bite to eat. I typically try to do that around 2 o'clock. And then I'll go back to, seeing, returning emails at that point. Who do I need to reach back out to, who's expressed interest, hopefully, in wanting to do some business. And so the latter part of the afternoon is spent just kind of, seeing who's reached out to us, not only in my main email inbox, but I also manage our info email account as well. And so I'll check both of those, return whatever communication necessary. And it still really doesn't stop, because around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. for us, guess what? It's 7 a.m. for my manufacturer. And so we may talk about whatever questions they may have had, the previous day. So, I mean, it's all just a big cycle. I try to cut it off, keyword try to cut it off around 8, 9 o'clock. But just depending on what we have in production, that WhatsApp is ringing off the hook, and I'm answering questions probably until 11, 12 o'clock, midnight. And so, I have to pry myself away from it at times. The other night, I think Monday, I turned my phone off and I took it upstairs and put it in the closet. So I would not, I just wouldn't see it. And I have to do that at times. I take those measures at times because I'm also a husband. I'm an uncle to my niece and nephew. I have my church band responsibility. So I try to keep, as much as possible, try to keep that balance. I haven't always been successful, but try to keep that balance. And, as far as just kind of what a typical day looks like, that's the best description I can give. It changes, but I try to keep it as consistent as possible. It's a lot, but try to keep it as consistent as possible.
Yeah, definitely a lot. So question, what's your favorite thing about your work that you like the most?
Oh man, I'm still in sports, and I love the fact that I'm still in sports. Yeah, at the end of the day, um, it's we're custom suit business. We love, making people look sharp. Love that. But I'm in sports, and if I can do something to remain in sports, that's always great. And then the other thing about it too, the other satisfying component to it, when we work with our collegiate athletes, our student athletes, typically we're their first introduction, their first experience with not only a custom suit, but a suit, period. And so for Reveal to be the first name that they can identify with, and for us to we give them the experience of designing your suit, not only from this lining component, but we take them through what a 1-button versus a 2-button front looks like, the pockets on the front, the lapel type. We take them through all of that. How do you want your name to appear on the inside? And so it creates a sense of ownership in that suit. I like to tell them that I give them the creative designer title when we sit down and meet. They get to pick their buttons. And so to have that opportunity to impact a young soon-to-be graduate, to impact them like that, hopefully, number one, we gain clients for life. But number two, we're helping them, feel confident either on game day, or we're helping them feel confident walking into that first job interview. And so, being a former student athlete, having been in those shoes, that makes it extremely gratifying for me.
Nice. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's a really
Mm-hmm.
you're able to give your student athletes that first experience
Mm-hmm.
of
Yep.
the suit. What's your least favorite thing about the business world?
Loss of sleep. I need to recoup all of the sleep that I've lost over these 5 years. It is it's a, it's a tough, and I'm very candid, when discussing this. The suit industry is a long time, older white male dominated industry. And so me coming in here, I'm the new blood, the new energy. We have the license component. I've faced some resistance, some side eyes, kind of, let's see if this guy really knows what he's talking about. Let's see if this reveal, let's see them. They're probably gonna crumble in a little while. I've heard that, and so that does nothing but fuel the competitive fire in me. And you'll always hear me use the term standard of excellence. We do have to be excellent. We have to be. I want us to be excellent though, not because we have to defy whatever the stigma of Black-owned business is. But I just want us to be excellent. Period. Whether we were green, yellow, brown, whatever, I want us to be excellent. But there is, and it just is what it is. It's not fair at times, but there is a need for me to make sure that this company is run in an excellent fashion. And sometimes that's a lot of pressure within itself, especially the industry that we're in. But again, you deal with whatever comes your way. I've had some uncomfortable meetings. I've had some unpleasant meetings because I haven't felt like I've been taken seriously at times. And I have to tell people, hey, this is 100% my company. And, don't, in essence, don't get it twisted and don't try to play me. And so you have to, you hope that the opportunities or the times that you have to do that are minimal, but, sometimes you have to make that a part of the discussion as well. So it's not always the most pleasant. It's unfortunate that it does exist at times, but the few times that it's happened, I definitely want to make that clear. I'm not saying that, I'm hit with this every day. It's not that, but the few times that it's happened and you see that it could cost you some big business, you got to dig in and let yourself be represented and basically let them know. You got to let them know.
So, a few more questions here. Then we're going to switch to some questions that we have coming in from the audience.
Okay.
My first question I have here is, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, I want Reveal Suits to be the official suit partner of at least 2 of the 4 major sports leagues, NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, or NHL, to be the official and exclusive suit partner of these leagues. And I feel that we're on that track. I want to be affiliated, and this is, we want to provide, this is not for me to, I'd rather watch games on TV anyway, so I'm not clamoring to be in every arena or anything like that. But this is something for this product, it's something that eventually you're going to be in the market for anyway, right? Everybody's going to need a suit or a blazer or something at some point. Why not have some fun with it on the inside? And so we want to be a realistic option, regardless of what school you went to, who your favorite team is. We want to be a realistic option for every male and female out there who is looking for a suit and a blazer. We want you to look at Reveal and say, oh, we need to go there because we can do this. We can represent here, and it doesn't compromise the outside of your garment. And so, in 5 years, I want us to be, we'll already have been the official suit partner of the NCAA. So I'm already claiming that one in like 2-3 years, right? But in 5 years, I want to be, definitely want to have a presence in the professional realm. And that's what I'm claiming right here on the video. keep the tape, as they say.
Okay. Thank you for that. What's a piece of advice you would give to your younger self, knowing what you know now?
What I would give to my younger self, man, make sure that you are always aware of how you're presenting yourself. Um, and I did a pretty good job of that, just kind of growing up. But the reason I say that is that relationships matter.
Mm-hmm.
And we just signed a great partnership with FC Dallas here in the Dallas area, the Major League Soccer club here. And some of the people who run that organization, I went to junior high school with, right? And so and so it's great when I approached them that their response was favorable. Again, I haven't seen them since junior high, but their response was favorable because they remembered, oh, Carlton was always a cool guy. We ate pizza together and hung out and, did this. And just imagine if it was the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
If I had been the jerk in junior high or the butthole in junior high, the partnership may have been a little bit more difficult to come by. And so, again, I bring that up. Relationships matter, and the people you're meeting in junior high, in high school, in college, in whatever your career path takes you, just know that, if you need to, if you need someone to put in a good word for you, if you need a business deal to be completed, in the strangest of ways, just know that relationships from any point, they matter. And definitely in this relationships and the way you present yourself, if I would tell my younger self, if social media was a presence back then, I would definitely say, beware of how you present yourself on social media too. So, yep, image is everything. Represent yourself well.
Okay. So I have one more question, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions that we have from the audience. And this last question is, what skills are most important in your line of work?
Communication. Communication is everything. How to speak, properly, how to communicate and sell your product, your brand efficiently and effectively. And then even written communication. I'm and my wife and friends tell me this all the time. I'm the grammar police. I can't send my emails will not contain grammar mistakes. They just will not. Because again, that's just a way, that's representation. Representation of your brand. And all of that just boils into communication. I'm a communications major. And so, I hold that one near and dear to me. You only have one chance to make a good first impression. And that's true everywhere. This is my first impression to the people who are watching this deal. And so, I want them to say, oh, that Reveal guy, I had a good time listening to him, as opposed to the opposite,
Right.
he was stumbling and fumbling everywhere. So no, communication is it's just key, and making sure that you present yourself, present your brand, your product, whatever it is that you're trying to present, you present it efficiently and you present it effectively.
Okay. You actually just answered a question that we had that came in, which was, did your college degree help you launch your business? And it sounds like it did. You have a degree in communications, and you just said that that's an essential skill that's helping you to be successful in your career, and also the importance of being able to present yourself well, and the importance of first impressions, and all that goes hand in hand with communication.
Yeah, absolutely. Launching the business, you just know right off the bat that you're going to be presenting something. You're going to be in front of someone at some point. And so, again, whatever the business is, you have to be ready to speak it to put it out there.
Okay. So being that you are so busy, what do you do to relax and recharge outside of work?
Oh man, every Saturday morning between 10 and 12, I still play some basketball.
Okay.
And so that is that 2 hours right there is literally one of the only 2 hour blocks that I never think about review.
I,
Never think about review, and I love every minute of it.
do you play with your sister?
No, so I haven't played with her, and she's in Houston. I'm in Dallas. We haven't matched up in about 2-3 years. So I'm calling her out, Carlisa. We need to get the game going back again. Um, but yeah, that time right there, I'm I'm just away from work, away from the phone, away from thoughts of reveal. And that's healthy. That's not a bad thing to say at all. And the same is true on my Sunday mornings when I'm playing my bass. It's just those are my times to not think about it. Um, my wife and I, we try to get out and do dinners. Of course, COVID forced us to get a little bit more creative with that. But we just try to get away, and we watch we watch our DVR for the week on Thursday nights. So wherever I can find it, it certainly helps. And I had to grow into that, believe me, because if you would let me do, starting out, if you would let me do 24 hours out of the 24 hours, I would have tried to do it. So it's definitely healthy to balance.
All right. So another question we have that came in says, Deion Sanders said, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. Andre Agassi said, image is everything. Can you tell us about why you think athletes love fashion so much and talk about why athletes today are more fashion conscious?
Oh man, and I love that comment that they put out there. It's something about even when you're in elementary age and you get that new pair of shoes, right? You feel good and you ready to put that with your first day of school clothes that you've already laid out. There's something about when you put it on, whether you're 10 years old, whether you're 14 years old, 18 years old, 38 years old, when you put on whatever that piece is, those shoes are, um, it, it does something to you. You kind of perk up a little bit. You kind of look and say, okay, that's all right. And then from an athletic standpoint, from a competition standpoint, and we've actually heard this from some of our college guys when we deliver their suits, and the energy in the room on those days. I mean, it's just electric because we're delivering those suits in July, and they're ready to play right then because they put it on and they're just like, ooh, somebody's in trouble. Oh man, and it's just a confidence thing. And then when they're putting it on that Saturday morning, getting ready to board the bus to play against whomever, I'm throwing this on and we're getting ready to play against Texas Tech, and you're looking and you're feeling like, man, Texas Tech in trouble tonight because we're coming in here looking like this, and we're looking like we're ready to handle some business. This is a business trip, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you look good, you feel good, and you're going to play confidently. It doesn't always translate to wins, but you're going to play confidently because you feel confident going in there. And so there's definite truth to what the young man mentioned, Deion referencing. And so, yeah, it's just, it's awesome to see. It's awesome to see just how that feeling that it gives to those athletes when they put these suits on. So he's 100% correct about that.
Okay. Where does your inspiration come from?
Inspiration?
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Inspiration. And it's it's said a lot, but it's really not a cliche. Watching that single mother uh, keep the household together, watching her go find a dollar, go find that extra job. Uh, we didn't miss meals, didn't miss Christmas gifts, didn't miss, had basketball shoes. And so to watch her hold it down, and I even have more of an appreciation for it now. To watch, salaries weren't what they are now. So to watch her hold it down like she did, can't help but be inspired from that. And so, one of my mantras now is no excuses. There's no excuses for anything. There's no excuses for, there's just no excuses. And whether it's the smallest of things, did you do your homework? No, I didn't do. Why not? Well, because I couldn't. Well, were you on your phone? Were you on social media? Well, you could have gotten the homework done. It's just in every and that's just something that I live by.
You talked about each individual player being their own creative director.
Mm-hmm.
What are your favorite suiting patterns to wear, and what do these patterns say about your personality?
Oh man, it took me a while to get outside of the normal solids, and so I will say probably for the first year, nah, I was just black, gray, navy. I get creative on the inside, but I've come to have an appreciation for the window panes now,
Okay.
either as a separate blazer or a full suit, and so I had to grow into getting a full suit as a window pane pattern. Uh, and so I'm branching out. I used to be partial to blues and browns, but I'm growing. I got me a little burgundy window pane suit that I rock every now and then. So
Is
I'm
window
getting there.
pane the square design on
The
it?
squares, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yep. The squares they can be larger. They can be some small window panes. You'll hear checkerboard patterns. Checkerboard
Yeah.
patterns have more texture within those boxes.
Okay.
And so I'll do most of those just kind of as a separate blazer. I'm not that bold yet to where I can rock that as a full suit, but so no, I've come to branch out a little bit with the window panes for sure.
So, knowing that fashion changes so quickly, what advice would you give to someone buying their first suit to have something that will last?
Mm. Um, First suit, you definitely want to have something that's versatile. Not only versatile from a color versatility standpoint with shirts and shoes and buttons and accessories. Um, you know, go towards your navies or your grays. For that, you can wear black shoes, brown shoes. So looking at something that you can get the most use out of. Throw a white shirt underneath, throw a pink shirt underneath, throw a powder blue shirt underneath, something that could work for everything. Um, and then, again, from the styling of it, yes, you want it nice and tailored. Um, and for a first suit, I would advise against the skinny look.
No
Um,
slim fit.
I mean, no. See, here's the thing: slim fit is tailored. There's a slim, so I do recommend slim fit. Yes,
Okay.
the skinny Russell Westbrook, Cam Newton game night. Those are good, kind of for your second and third suits.
who are interested in the field of business, knowing that you had perhaps unconventional path into being an entrepreneur, into being in the world of business, what advice would you give to young people who are interested in going into business?
Um, don't sit on it. Don't sit on it. There's an idea. Somebody's sitting on an idea right now who's listening to this. And if you have an idea, here's the thing. Why not you? Okay. Um, don't wonder if I won't have enough time. Make the time, because you can't. If your idea is there, you can't place your casual Instagram browsing or your Facebook browsing or your TikTok dancing. You can't place that over this vision or this idea that you have. And so that just comes down to how badly do you want it, because both of those can't coexist. You can't indulge in the same amount of time as you've been on social media. And some of that is healthy, but you can't indulge in the same amount, and you can't put all of your energy into your vision and your idea. Both of those don't match at the same time. And so something has to sacrifice, and you got to, if you want it bad enough, why not you? But it's definitely going to start with the choices that you make. And just don't sit on it. I'd hate to have that regret if I would have sat on that vision that I had, and it not led me. Hey, we're still growing, but if it had not led me to some of the things that we've been able to experience here at Reveal. So why not you?
That's a great note to end on. Why not you? I love that. Well, Carlton, thank you so much for being here with us and for sharing your amazing insights and your experiences with us, and for just being an amazing role model to our athletes that we have listening. Definitely shared a lot of great information. And for our athletes who are interested in business, you have a great story of how you can really take, the skills they have, that competitive nature, that teamwork, and take that and apply that to the business world. So thank you for sharing that. We're going to go ahead and launch a quick 2-question survey. So please fill that out to all of our audience members. And for all of our season 3 participants, don't forget that we will be announcing the winner of our pizza party next week at our end of the year celebration. So make sure you're engaging with us on social media. For all of our coaches who may be online, make sure you share the link to our live YouTube so you can have your athletes rewatch this in case they weren't able to catch it live. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. And thank you again, Carlton, for being with us.
My
And to
pleasure.
athletes everywhere, have a great night.